Happy Friday. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to pick up where I left off yesterday. I was ranting and raving here about line movement, reverse line movement, illegal money in sports betting. I read a fascinating story last night, so it helps to illustrate what I was talking about yesterday. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, but first I wanted to do a recap. Glad to say Jack won both games yesterday, both close. I give him a lot of credit for taking North Carolina on the money line, not giving the 2 points. I talked about that with J Mart. I'll be screaming that from the mountaintops here all football season. Take your points. Like, don't try to get greedy here with the juice. If you have a team that's favored by 2 points or 2.5 points, you're better off just taking them on the money line. Like you just are. There's too many times where the game comes down to 1 or 2 points. You can give up a backdoor touchdown for no reason. Just take them to win. And likewise, if you love a team that's getting 3 or 4 points, uh, don't take them on the money line. Like just take your 3 points. I think that football is so volatile, and you end up can go on tilt where you're right about a game and then you get screwed over at the end. So to avoid that, buy your half a points. Just take them on the money line. Always advised to do that. It worked out well for Jack yesterday. Colorado game wins by half a point for him. And I know these numbers are going to have variance, right? Like some people are going to get lines at certain points. It depends on what app you use. It depends what time you're betting, all that stuff. So, Jack's just reporting when he bets, that's what the number was. So it worked out for him yesterday. My recap on the Orioles is I wish I didn't stay up all night, frankly. But it is what it is. I did, and we lost. I just want to win all 3 games this weekend. I think that would make it a hell of a lot easier to digest everything that's happened this season. It's just been a lot. We got guys coming back. We're playing in the worst or the best hitting park, right, in all of baseball. The Rockies are one of the worst teams. Hopefully, we can just smash the ball, get our confidence going. And then, all we really need to do, like the magic number in my head is can we be up 1 game going into that Yankee series, the last series of the season? It's a 3 game series in New York. Because we own the tiebreaker, as long as we're up 1 game going into that series, we'd only have to win 1 out of 3. We'd win the division. So that's how I'm looking at things as a worst case scenario. I don't want to have to go in there and win 2 out of 3. So hopefully just winning 1 out of 3. If we have a 3 game lead, we'd automatically clinch because we have the tiebreaker. So if we have a tie record at the end of the season, we get that tiebreaker. Right now, we're a game and a half out, but we get the Rockies and the White Sox. So hopefully we can get rolling here. Let's see. What else? Is there anything else I wanted to do? I'm doing all Steelers, Bengals, Browns on Monday. Pretty confident on my opinions, but I'll do all football starting on Monday. But I want to talk about this because, when you're kind of in a rant like I was yesterday and you're not talking to anybody, you can lose, the forest from the trees or however that goes. And there's a story. It's been a developing story now for a couple of years, and it looks like it's coming to a head. So I want to read some of the headlines, focus on the part that's relevant. And then if you want to read this story, you can. It's a 31-page document that came from the Nevada Gaming Board. So it's available for everybody to read. It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. So here's the headline. Pro poker player Damien LeForbes he pled guilty to operating an illegal sports book and money laundering in California and Nevada. Now, let's kind of start from scratch. So the way illegal sports books are being run on a sophisticated level right now is through a website. So you have these websites that anybody can frankly get access to as long as you know where to go. And you have these websites that you can give access to customers. So customers can go on this website and it'll be like a sports book. It'll be just like being on DraftKings or anywhere else. You place your bets. You don't deposit the money on there. The money that's a different story. That's usually through PayPal, it's through cryptocurrency, it's through Venmo, it's through any way that you want to receive money from somebody, but you place your bets on there. So the bets are tracked, and it's very common. That's what's happening now, right? So this gentleman, LeForbes, that's what he had. Okay, great. He's not reinventing the wheel, but what was he doing that really made him stand out? And this is the case in any illegal operation. Once you're like flaunting it or you're doing too good at the illegal operation, that's when you get attention, right? There's tons of illegal sports books, sports, bookmaking operations going on, but this guy was really brazen. So one of the popular things to do when you're a bookie is to have runners, have agents. And the way that agreement works is, hey, you go find somebody and you get a finder's fee, right? You find somebody to bet through me, you collect the money, you get paid. Old school, right? That's not breaking any news. However, this guy wasn't satisfied by just finding friends or, you know, whoever to recruit sports betters. He went as far as to recruit um, two individuals that worked at a casino. By all accounts, it feels they haven't named which casino it is. I guess there's lawyers are involved with that, but most people that have been studying this think it's Casino Resorts World is the casino it's labeled Casino A in the document. But anyway, two employees from Resorts World were indicted, and so he essentially had two guys that worked at a casino recruiting sports bettors for him for an illegal operation, which again, you're going to get attention when you're that brazen, but it was probably more so the amount of money. So let me just make sure I'm quoting this correctly. Over a 3-year period from January of 20, not even 3 years, LeForbes wagered $148 million at this casino. Now, some of that is probably, blackjack and whatever he wants to play, but $148 million. And you look at, and if you go into more of the, more of the details of the or of the document, it's not an indictment, it's a document that the Nevada Gaming Control Board released. He's doing so many different transactions, millions and millions of dollars each week. So he's running a huge operation. Now he's gambling, and this is what I wanted. This is kind of the relevance of what I was saying yesterday. He's betting a lot of his bets at that casino when it comes to sports bets aren't what he thinks are going to happen. That's not what bookies do. They're unloading their risk. What's the right term I'm using? They have too much risk, so they want to bet the other side. I'll think of the term in a second. So let's say I'm running my own operation here in Baltimore, or I'm down in Georgia, but hypothetically, I'm in Baltimore. I'm getting a bunch of Ravens fans, bunch of Ravens action. Ravens are playing the Chiefs. I got $27 million on the Ravens action to win minus 4.5, 5, whatever it was. And I only got $2.5 million on the Chiefs. I'm now the bookie, and I'm basically betting $24 million here on the Ravens. I'm not doing that. That's not the business I'm in. I'm not doing that. So I need, where can I bet my 24 million? How can I get that off? And a lot of times what bookmakers will do is they'll bet through other bookmakers to, God, I can't offload the risk. Why can't I think of the term? It's driving me crazy. But anyway, they'll bet with other bookmakers. But when you're taking in that much money, there's only so many gigantic bookmakers, that can absorb that kind of risk. And that's why it looks like this gentleman, LeForbes, ends up, making the bets at the casino. Be like, hey, I gotta hedge my bets here. I can't afford to I have too much risk on this team. I need to bet on this team. Now, the relevance to that as a sports bettor is, think about it. If I'm sitting here and it's 45 minutes before the game starts, and I'm trying to study line movement and looking at, hey, if this line moves a point this way, but there's more money coming in this way, that must mean boom, right? I'm sitting here like I'm freaking Albert Einstein figuring it out. Now, and then the line moves, right? But what if the line is moving because this jackass who's running an illegal sports betting operation, who has just random people betting whatever they're betting, just by happenstance happens to have too much money being risked on one side. So he's just going over to bet the other side just for his own, not because there's something going on with the offensive line in the game or because there's inside information, simply because he's managing his own small business, in this case, a large business, but he's got too much money being risked. This is what is happening throughout the world, not just the country, when it comes to sports betting, specifically in the popular sports like football. Like there's too many people that are running too many illegal operations that then they need to hedge off their bets. And sometimes the casino itself will do that. There's been plenty of stories where a casino has taken, let's say, like I was saying yesterday, there's 5 different casinos, but one casino is getting way more action on a particular side than the rest of the other casinos, just for whatever happenstance reason. They'll go ahead and bet through the other casino, right? Like when you're in the business of being a bookmaker, whether you're legally or illegally, you're not in the business of gambling. You're in the business of trying your best to get to that 50% number, because that way you're guaranteed to make money. That's not breaking news. Everybody knows that. The thing that trips people up is they want to think that there's this simple answer, right, to a complex problem. And the complex problem being successful at sports betting. And there is no simple answer. And line movement and understanding line movement presents as the number one way to trick somebody into, I know more about sports betting than you. And the reason is, and I've used this sales tactic before, is I'll say, all right, well, what are you doing all day long? And the person will say, well, I'm a lawyer, I'm a teacher, I'm a doctor, I do this, I do that. It's like, okay, well, I'm studying line movement. You're doing what? I'm studying line movement all across all of the platforms. I am looking for advantages like I would be if I was trading stocks or doing something like that. And the other person was like, oh, that sounds like a real job. Okay, so you're looking for discrepancies, you're looking for this, you're looking for that. Oh, okay, so you're looking, it's like, by the time, if the conversation's only 2 to 3 minutes long, you can trick the person. But if the person's going to ask you to talk about it for 20, 30, 40 minutes, eventually you're not going to know what to say, because it doesn't make any sense. Like, you're not able to really defend what you're saying. You're trying to say that the line's moving and therefore you're going to bet this other side. But if a person says, well, who's betting? Like, how do you know that that's a smart person that's actually betting? You're like, and you change the subject. And that's just what you do, because I'm telling you, I've been doing this for way too long, and I've talked to way too many people about this who either fully agree with me and just don't want to say it because it's part of how they make content, or they are unwilling to even debate me on it because it just ruins the foundation of what they believe in, which is that somehow, some way they can understand why the line is moving. It's impossible. And this story highlights it, because this is just the story that's getting reported. Nobody knows exactly how much illegal money is being wagered on sports betting, but it is an enormous amount, and therefore it's impossible for us to know why a line is moving, and therefore it makes no sense for us to really study it. What makes sense is to study what the line is relative to what your opinion is on the game, period. If the line's going to move one way or the other and it's not injury related, then there's nothing for you to analyze. That's that. So, all right, I'm gonna put the link in there. What is it? It's the Nevada game. It's 31 pages, but the dork in me enjoys reading this kind of stuff because I just do. So it's a 31-page document from the Nevada Gaming Control Board. It's just fascinating. So I will post this. I guess I'll just post it in the link on Telegram instead of sending out a whole email. If anybody wants to read it, I'll just post the link from the website, legalsportsreport.com, and then the link to that document is in there if you want to read the article that I read. Yeah, so have a great day. Yeah, we got college football tomorrow. Jack and I recorded a podcast late last night during the Colorado game. I'll put that out in the morning. We'll have all of his bets, all of J Mart's bets. I'm not sure if I'll have any college football bets. We'll see. And then full speed ahead here for the NFL, starting on Thursday with the Ravens. So I shall see you guys. The podcast will be out in the morning, and then I'll be back here on Monday. If you need anything, just give me a call, send me a text, an email. Have a great day. And yeah, let's go O's. I'll see you guys on Monday.